Now I will remind you that head to Showtime for all the teams you follow. They've got collectibles there. It's just a bunch of good people with a great store right there on Phillips Highway at Shad Road. Head to Showtime today. Pete Prisco joins us. Pete, we're here, man. Football season is here. Let's get to the Jaguars. Jags, Panthers. What are your expectations for Jacksonville? Liam Cohen's first game. Everyone's going to be a little bit nervous. A really important game, Pete, for them because of all the attention this whole thing has gotten these last 8 months. What are your expectations?
Well, I think they're going to play well. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to play well. I think the offense will be crisper than it's been. I think the coaching is better. I think you could see that on the offensive line. They'll be better up front. Now, they're not going to be the Philadelphia Eagles, but they'll be better. And I do think that they're going to be able to throw the ball down the field. And for that reason, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to get off to a good start. And, look, the Carolina defense isn't great. They have some good players on there, and there's some young players on there, but I think they're beatable, and I think he's going to be able to make plays down the field. So I look for Trevor Lawrence to get his season off on the right foot and have a productive day throwing the football. They also have to figure out what the running game is going to be. Who's going to get the brunt of the carries? How are they going to do it? How are they going to divide it up? And kind of figure out who's going to be the lead guy, or is there going to be a lead guy? I don't think there'll be a lead guy on day one, but I think eventually there will be. Or, and that's not going to be a 22-carry guy. It might be a 15-carry guy. But they got to figure out who that is. And then on the defensive side of the ball, stop the run. And again, it's been a problem for them for a long time. We say it all the time. If they can stop the run, I think they can have success. And I look forward to all the different looks that Campanelli throws at Bryce Young, because I think he's going to be creative. I think he's going to be one of those young defensive coordinators that can make a name for himself this year. So those are some of the things I'm looking for.
Tell us about how you think Houston at the LA Rams will go.
Is Matt Stafford healthy? I mean, that's 37 in the back is never a good combination. If he's healthy, I think they can be a really good team. If he's not, I don't think they're going to be a good team. So they say he's healthy, but you never know. And sometimes you contort it wrong, you move around wrong, and all of a sudden your back hurts. And then you look and you go, okay, well, the season's done. So if he's healthy, they're going to be – I think they'll win the game. I worry about the Texans' offensive line. I really do. And I know they think they've changed it, and maybe – I don't know if it's any better. And the reason they had problems last year and the reason C.J. Stroud had problems last year is because the offensive line was so bad. And I'm not so sure that they are better. So I look at it from that standpoint. I think the Rams win that game. And look, if Jacksonville wins their game, they got one game up on the Texans already.
Back to the game, our game for a second. Tell me about Carolina. I mean, they think they're winning. They won more. They were 5-12 last year. That's more wins than we had. I tell people all the time, we think the Panthers aren't very good. I promise you, in Charlotte, they're thinking they caught a break that they get to play this team. So I'll be interested to see. They were terrible defensively last year, Pete. Have they fixed any of that? What's the word out of Charlotte?
Well, getting Derek Brown back helps. Right. I mean, he didn't play. He got hurt last year, and when he's on the field, he's a dominant player, and he's really good against the run. So I think that will help them get their defense going again. And they've added some guys. I mean, they added some big bodies up front. Wharton is one. Bobby Brown from the Rams is another. So I think they feel better about that group. Linebackers are okay. I think the secondary, J.C. Horn's a good player. The rest of that group is, even though they've added Morig from the Raiders and Nick Scott from the Bengals, I don't know how good they are on the back end. So I think there's going to be opportunities down the field. Offensive line, the interior, the guards are good. That's a tandem. Lewis is a little banged up, so we'll see how he is. But Lewis and Hunt are really a good dominant guard tandem. And I think the right tackle is a good player, and Ekwonu got better last year. So the offensive line's solid. Where does he throw the football? I mean, Ted McMillan's a rookie, good player, and he's going to be a really good player, but he's making his first NFL start. Leggett was a major disappointment last year, and Hunter Renfrow is back, as a slot receiver, and he's going to be involved in their offense as well. So I don't love the weapons for Bryce Young. The line's pretty good, but I think there should be an opportunity for them to get after that quarterback a little bit in this game.
Will they have Ekwonu? I mean, he had an appendectomy.
Yeah, I know. That's the question. I mean, because he had appendicitis, and if he's not there, Brady Christensen will start.
Right.
And Brady Christensen's kind of just a guy.
Right. That's right. Interesting. We'll see.
Will we see Christian McCaffrey before Thanksgiving?
Well, if you do, then he'll go out 2 games later. I mean, it's just kind of like the MO on him. I mean, has anybody had more trouble with a calf injury in his career than that guy? I mean, every other week it's a calf injury. And it's terrible because if the 49ers are healthy, they're star-laden. We know that. He's one of them. Kittle's one of them. Williams is one of them. Bosa, Warner. I mean, those are top players in the league. And Purdy. And when they're not healthy, it's a major problem because they got a lot of money invested in their stars, and your depth gets hit. So he's got to be on the field for them. And look, today he didn't work much, but he was running around a little bit, so I can't imagine it's a major calf strain, but you never want that thing to go fully because that could be a long-time problem for them.
Yeah, Pete, I think, I told Hayes this earlier, I think Christian McCaffrey's a guy we're going to look at in 8 to 10 years and go, man, imagine what he could have been if he was healthy. I just think that it doesn't look like he's just kind of that guy. It's hard for me not to think he's that guy.
And he's a maniac when it comes to training.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it, Frank. He's a maniac when it comes to training. And again, it goes back to my theory on. I think sometimes these guys overtrain. I really do.
Yeah, Shane Matthews is a big believer in that. We were talking about the same thing with Lagway. I think he's a big believer in that. All right, final thing for you. What game will you have your eye on the most? Is it Baltimore Buffalo? It's what's the best game of the weekend? And what storylines do you expect to come out of this first weekend of the NFL, Pete?
Well, I think there's two games keeping an eye on because my Super Bowl pick is the Bills over the Packers, but it's Buffalo and Baltimore. And I always look at the Bills' schedule. If the Bills beat Baltimore and you're at home on Sunday night, you should win that game. I know Baltimore's a really good team, but you're at home, you should win that game. If they win that game, their schedule gets really favorable until they get the Chiefs at home, I think in week 8 or 9 or whatever it is. So a big game for the Bills. It's also a big game for Lamar Jackson and that gang. They got to get off to a good start and maybe start proving to people that they can not only win in the regular season but win in the postseason. And then the other one is, the Lions and the Packers. Detroit has some, attrition. They lost some guys on the offensive line. They lost their 2 coordinators. John Morton, former Jaguar John Morton, is now the offensive coordinator with the Detroit Lions. And so, I want to see how that thing looks. But the Packers are loaded. The Packers are young, loaded, and then they add Micah Parsons. I mean, that team's ready for a lot, and I think we're going to see that when they play the Lions.
Pete Prisco talking NFL. Nobody does it better. Give me a score. Give me a score for the Jags Panthers. Give me a score before we go.
Jaguars win by a touchdown.
Jaguars.
And I think Trevor Lawrence gets off to a really good start. I say like 270-2 for him without a pick. I think he's going to look really good on Sunday.
Boy, we'll take that right now. Pete Prisco checking in, talking NFL football. Pete, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
You got it. Take care.
All right, Pete does a really good job. Talks NFL football. Is brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Once again, if you root for a team, I don't care who it is you root for, you can find them at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on Phillips Highway.
Hey y'all, Lauren Brooks here. Thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and check out all of our great videos and channels on the 1010XL network.